Hello all. Well, here we are, another beautiful day here in California. Very little fog, nice sunshine. It's supposed to be 88 degrees today. It was in the mid-80s yesterday. Forecast to be in the 90s tomorrow. They keep pushing the 90s forward. So a lot of people I've seen on the internet have anxiety in the morning, severe anxiety. And it doesn't have to be over any particular thing. It's just from a lifetime of living in the societies we live in that causes it. And we end up with endless anxiety in the morning. Well, scientists have lots of anxiety right now. Let's go up and do a video and talk about why scientists have so much anxiety these days. Well, I forgot my wallet, which had the notes in it, so I'll just have to do this from memory. So if the vlogs no longer continue, it's because the camera won't turn on for me anymore. I just had a heck of a time trying to get it to turn on, and finally got it to turn on, but no such luck on it getting any better. So the new camera should be here on the 4th or the 5th of May. So you may have to wait till then before we get a new camera. But what I wanted to talk about was a new report that came out a couple days ago that talked about global heating and how bad it's getting, especially the oceans. This is a new one about ocean heating and how much it's heating up and how fast it's. Since 1979 to 2011, the ocean has been heating steadily, faster and faster as we go along, making scientists very nervous. About how badly the oceans are heating up and how it's giving them anxiety, extreme anxiety, because they're still going to be here when all hell goes into a handbasket. The problem is, as the ocean heats, the environment heats up on land as well. And with the La Nina coming on, it's going to make it about 0.026 to about 0.045 degrees warmer than normal. And that might be just enough to push us over the edge at having trouble growing food and seeing large swaths of humans dying off and animals dying off. We've already seen a lot of fish die off already as the oceans continue to heat up. They're not sure what's causing the heat, but the scientists are saying that it's obviously fossil fuel burning that's causing all this heat. Now what happens is it heats up on the land, and then the heat ends up going into the oceans, and then the oceans heat up. And right now we're on a time when oceans heat up and heat up and heat up, and then they discharge all that heat. And it's one of those times when the discharging is taking place. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about ocean heating. We can't shut it off, and they say it will continue for thousands of years after humans have stopped burning fossil fuels, and that oceans are destined to become a dead zone because of all this ocean heating. They're saying the Atlantic and the Indian Oceans are the two hottest and getting hotter all the time. That may explain why India is becoming the most dangerous place for heat-related strokes and problems with humans, because the Indian Ocean is heating up, which is causing the land to heat up because the land's heat can't discharge into the ocean. Well, that's the same problem that's going to happen here in North America, South America, and the Asian countries as well. So I don't have my notes with me, so I wasn't able to really put on that good of a video. But I did want to tell you that there has been another study saying that we're in trouble. And they say that we're at the cusp, or just past the cusp of fixing the problem. That why can't these politicians understand what's happening? Why can't they be told what is happening? Are the people that tell these politicians what's happening hold back because they don't want anything to change? They just think that there's no such thing as global climate change, and they don't tell the politicians, and the people themselves are too wrapped up in their phones to pay attention to what's happening with the environment, other than the very moment that the environment is screwing up on them, and they sort of look up and say, oh, it's hot. let me turn on the air conditioning. And then they go back to their phones. Is that what's happening? Are we just determined not to tell our politicians what is happening, and we're determined not to research to find the best politicians to avoid the oncoming climate disaster that's coming? More tornadoes, more hurricanes, definitely more flooding. The hotter it gets, the more moisture stays in the atmosphere, and the harder the rains are, and also the more severe the droughts are. So it's all coming to a head, and it's our fault for putting in bad politicians and not paying attention and changing our own habits. This isn't a thing where politicians are going to change things. This is a thing where humans themselves have to change things. Whether that'll happen or not is doubtful. But we'll hopefully keep putting these videos out with a new camera coming the 5th or the 6th of May. And we won't have to deal with this old broken down camera, which is all taped up and banged up and looks like it's been through World War III. So we appreciate all the new subscribers, and definitely your comments on this subject. And remember, if you don't hear from us until May, it's because I couldn't get the camera to turn on, and we're having to wait for the new one. Until next time.